It is Lucas back once again with the live wire. This time I've got Beau from Bless the Fall. How are you, my friend?
Going on? It's good. I'm good, good. Like I was saying earlier, I'm actually just in the middle of I'm making some muffins here. So I'm like in dad mode. I got like the ovens over here. And so I'm waiting for them to finish cooking. And
That's
it was
okay.
my bad that I put them in right before the interview started. I'm like, oh no. So if you see me right over to the oven, I'm still listening to you, but
No,
yeah.
you're good. You're good. Listen, I've not had someone cook a meal during an interview, so that's a first I can tick off the bucket list.
Okay. You know what? That could be like a new thing, like the metalcore baker. There's something there.
So I don't know if he's like a metal. So he's not a baker, but like, have you heard of a guy called Nat's What I Reckon?
No.
Okay, so he's like an Aussie guy, and he's a metalhead, but he makes like cooking videos, and they're hilarious. They're so funny.
What? I
But
love
yeah,
that.
he's a Aussie too, and he's very funny, and he's always low energy. And then he's just like his whole thing is basically, hey, don't make a jar sauce. They're shit. Like make your
Oh
own sauce.
wow.
Don't use it from the jar. But anyway, we're
I
getting
love that.
getting sidetracked already. Last time you guys were in Australia, you guys got the upcoming tour with Memphis May Fire coming up at the end of the month. You got the new record coming out, which is the first record since um oh my God, I've already just dragged off. It's a cut. I had it up for later, but I've already brought it up.
It's all right. It's
Hyper
called Hard Feelings. That was the
Hard
last
feelings. I was
album.
gonna say high potential. I don't know why I was gonna say that. Um,
Also, good choice.
yeah. How does it feel to be coming back to Australia after such a long time away since the last time you were here was 2016?
Yeah, it's very exciting. Like it's always been a place that, when you do the interviews and they go, "Where's your favorite place to play in the world?" And Australia is always like the first one we talk about. I think we just had so many good times down there, and the fans are just so energetic and appreciative that you've come all the way out there to play a show. And um, we've gotten a lot of requests for Europe, but we said we gotta do Australia first, and then we'll go from there as far as overseas shows go. And so it's just been a blast. And like last time we went cliff jumping, went to all sorts of beaches, and just had a whole amazing experience. And I think like we kind of want to hopefully do some of those things again.
For sure. I remember too, like I remember catching you guys for a little bit. I didn't see the whole set, but I caught you guys a little bit back at Soundwave in like 2011 and you guys were brilliant then. So like I can only imagine what 15 years of touring and coming back with this whole new side to you is going to sound
Yeah.
like on this tour. I'm really excited for it.
Awesome. Yeah, it's I think we've just really worked on sounding good. I think, you know, which is funny to say because you figure that would be just like a given, but it's like I think before it was like we're so focused on the show and leaving people with something that they won't forget, like jumping off something or like all sorts of antics. And I think like now we really want to bring the energy still, but sound good. And I know there's like the fans have gotten a little bit older, so they're watching, they're like judging. They want to see how you sound. So I think making sure we sound great live and then at the same time bringing that energy on stage.
Hell yeah. And then obviously a lot's happened since the last tour. So 2020 saw the band seemingly go on hiatus over COVID, and then you guys sort of came back out swinging with Wake the Dead in 2023. When that hiatus sort of happened, like was there any conversations that it might be a permanent thing, or was it just kind of, hey, the world's shutting down, let's recharge the batteries and come back strong?
Yeah, I mean, we were sort of going away before COVID happened, and no one really knew that. It was sort of just like see you when I see you, and everyone was kind of burnt out, and we didn't know what was going to happen. Everyone, we kind of just did our own thing, and and then COVID happened, and then we're like, oh, like maybe this is it. And so we all kind of just were at peace with like maybe that was it, and we were kind of like, well, we had a great run, and a lot, we did a lot. We've seen the world a bunch of times, and that was cool. And then, a couple years go by, a year goes by, and then Eric's like, hey man, like I've been working on some stuff. I'm like, oh, and like, what does that mean? And so we kind of started writing just from a place of like, we missed it, right? It's just from a place of like, we miss making music. So let's write, let's see what happens, see how we feel and see where it goes. And it was so much fun making music again, getting in the studio with the guys and we'd missed it, and we realized like, oh shit, we've written a bunch of songs, might as well keep going. Are we doing an album? We were like, is this a record that we're making? Sorry, I'm pulling these muffins out, by the way.
You're good.
Um,
Listen, while you do that, the kind of leads into my
yeah.
next question. So, with Wake the Dead, oh, there we go. There's the people probably might not have seen it, but you got the handout.
Oh,
Obviously, so I mentioned earlier, so Wake the Dead dropped in 2023, and then you guys followed up with Drag Me Under in 2024.
hmm.
How long had that album been in production, considering the record then dropped in September last year? Because that, like, yeah, the first song off it came out like 2.5 years ago now.
Yeah, I think we put out Wake the Dead before the album was complete. And it was like, I think we were sort of just like, okay, let's just see what happens. Like, let's see if people are interested. And holy shit, like the response was insane. And um, I think for us, it was pretty much a no-brainer of like, okay, there's still a world for us out here, you know? You know how fast trends come and go. So, after a few years, we're like, I don't know if anyone's gonna listen to metalcore. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, are they on to a new thing, whatever? And we realized there was a bit of like nostalgia involved with us being around since, almost 20 years now. And um we started seeing like there was fans who'd never seen us before. There's fans who had been around since 2008 who were like, I've never got to see you play. And we're like, holy shit, like there's a whole world where like people just haven't never got the chance to see us. So, and you could see that start happening. And so, when we decided to come back and do our 10-year Hollow Bodies tour, we're meeting all these people who were like, I've loved you since I was like 14, and I'm like 28 now, and I'm like, I get to see you play, and we're just like, holy shit. Okay. So I think like going back to Wake the Dead coming out, we were just seeing like new fans, but a lot of fans who just never got the chance to come see us play. And they were like, I wish you guys would tour. I wish you guys would tour. So we're like, all right, there's a whole, there's a market. There's still people there who miss it, and let's get a record done. And it was pretty close. Like we had a bunch of songs written when that came out, but it wasn't finished. And then we were like, okay, shit, we need to like really actually like finish this thing. Like people are expecting it, I think. So
Yeah, for
um
sure. And talking then, I guess, on the record too, and you sort of talking about like new fans and stuff. I feel like this record is like a whole new energy. Like you guys just feel like a whole new band, and I'm assuming that's come from taking the time away and sort of you guys sort of changing the writing style a little bit. Like, is that kind of sort of how it felt when you walked into Gallows? Was it like, did you guys feel revitalized in a way?
Yeah, I mean, to be truthful, when I first went in the studio, I was awful. I was like, I haven't done this in so long. Like my writing, the muscle that you use to create and write, like that wasn't there. My voice sounded so weird, and it took a little bit, but the excitement was there. And then, when we first started finishing songs, I was like, whoa, okay, this is cool. And yeah, and then it just became like because we were recording in LA with Hiram Hernandez is our producer, and it's about 2-hour flight from me. And so I started actually like really looking forward to the next writing session, and I'd fly in, we'd finish the song, I'd fly out, and then Eric would write something with Hiram, and then be like, he would send me the instrumental, and I'm like, whoa, this is sick. Okay, I got to come back. So then I'd fly back again. It was a lot of back and forth, but I started finding myself really looking forward to those writing trips in these little small bunches rather than, the old school way of like locking yourself in a fucking room for 2 months. I'm like, holy
Yeah.
shit, I'll never do that again. Like it was just, we're not at that same place. I think when I first joined the band, I was like, very single, very like no, like it was my only passion was to just sit and write music and to not have anything else to worry about. And I couldn't believe I was getting paid to do that. And so I would
Yeah.
had no problem. I'd go sit in a room for 24 hours. It, like didn't matter to me. But now
Yeah.
it's like life happens. There's family. There's all these other things you look forward to, and at the same time, I do want to write and continue with the band, but there's just different priorities now.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And that just obviously comes with, being in a band now for 20 years almost. So Yeah, no, that's really cool. Speaking of other cool stuff though, so this record has some insane features as well. So you guys got Matt Flood from Caskets, you got
Mhm.
Lockie from Alpha Wolf, who were like a band that I adore. You've also got Dan from Story of the Year. Um, how did you kind of
Mhm.
get that murderer's row of talent to appear on the record? Like, because they're like Matt, I recently just interviewed because they were just out here with We Came as Romans, and I got to talk to him again.
Okay.
And yeah, like I've interviewed all those bands, and they're just all killer dudes. So like, yeah, how did the collab
Yeah.
sort of come into play?
Um, okay, so obviously Story of the Year is like everyone's like, it's like nostalgic, favorite band. And I remember seeing Story of the Year for the first time. They opened for Yellow Card, and I went to go see Yellow Card. I had no idea who Story of the Year was. They came on stage and had about a 25-minute set and just fucking ripped. And I was like mouth open. It had been a long time since I had seen a band that just made me like run right to the merch table, get the CD, and be like, "What is this?" Like immediate like fan. Um, and then throughout the years, we've got to tour with them. Actually, in Australia, we toured with Sir of the Year and Seosin years ago, and got to know those dudes and become buddies with them. And so when we wrote our song, whatchamacallit, the first person to come to mind. It's just funny because there's just certain songs that make you think of different people, right? There's like, and so whatever it was about that song felt nostalgic. And I went like, dude, this would be perfect for Dan. This like from Story. If we could do this, this is a Dan song. This is like I could hear his voice on it, and then and so that we reached out to him, he was like, absolutely. And so that crushed. And then somebody else, same thing. Just made me think of Matt. We did that tour with Caskets, our comeback tour, our 10-year anniversary with Hollow Bodies, and they were on that run with us. And he is fucking flawless every night. There was one night where he was on his deathbed. He's like breathing the oxygen. He's like, and he gets on stage and fucking rips. Like his voice is just like, I'm like, holy shit, man. Like you're so talented. So we just thought it'd be awesome to have Matt on something. And then when we wrote somebody else, we're like, oh, dude, like Matt should sing on this song. It just makes sense. And then Drag Me Under was we had met we had met Alpha Wolf at a festival, and we are like, oh, we have kind of the same management. Oh, this is awesome, man. Like, good to meet you. My buddy was actually driving their bandwagon. He was their driver. And so he's like, hey, this band wants to meet you. Like, come say hi. And then I was talking to Lockie, and he's like, hey, man, low key, our bass player is a fuck. He's like, we all love your band, but our bass player is a super fan, like a freak. He wore your Blessthefall shirt on stage, and for like a year, and then the shirt fell apart, and then he bought the same exact shirt again and wore it on. Like he's a super fan. He's gonna play real cool when he meets you, but just know. And it's so I just thought it was really cool that this new band crushing it, like fucking heavy as shit, could like we could inspire them. And I was like, that's so cool. And they're just such nice dudes. And um I just always wanted him. Since that day, I was like, we need to get this dude on the song. Like, and we have a bit of a connection there, so it makes sense, right? It's not just some random like, we hit him up to be on this track. So getting him on our getting Lockie on the track was just like it just made sense. And we thought they were really cool dudes, and his voice is insane, so it worked out.
Yeah, man. They're all three bands are crazy, and like, what's even insane, like you talk about Matt being on kind of death's door with that show. I don't know if you just saw it. They were supposed to play a show like last night, and he was so sick he couldn't play it. And like, I know
Wow.
that guy will push through anything. So he must have been insanely sick like last night or the night
Yeah.
before.
It
So
had to. And like there's yeah, like I said, I saw him like struggling, and he still went up and fucking killed it. So it had to be bad if they're like canceling a show or whatever.
for sure. We've only got a couple more minutes, but I'll kind of sort of combine my last couple questions into one sort of bigger question, right? So obviously this two of you guys have got coming out. Like I said, first time in 10 years, you're going to be in Australia. You're going to be debuting songs in Australia off Hard Feelings, which you've never played live before here, which feels like an insane thing to say. How has it been kind of balancing the set list with let's play the classics, let's play stuff we've never played in Australia before, and then as well, what can fans expect from a 2026 Bless the Fall show?
Yeah, it was just picking our set is so hard at this point, and it's a good problem to have because I feel like we have all those really cool throwback songs, and then I love all the new shit that we've done. So I'm like, oh, how do we balance this out? And I didn't even think about that. Yeah, we have no one's heard anything from Hard Feelings out there, so um, live that is. So yeah, it's tough, but obviously energy. That's like all we want to do is to bring the bangers and bring the gas, like we just want to like um put on a great show. And like I said, I think sacrificing a little bit of the antics for just sounding good, but at the same time, like, crowd interaction. Like I love being down in the crowd personally. Like if I could, I was just singing the barricade all night. And so, I think just reconnecting with our fans down there, and hopefully a lot of new fans. I hope it's there are a lot of people that are coming who haven't seen us, and hopefully they walk away like stoked and having a new band that they want to listen to.
For sure. Kind of speaking on, there's a comparison I wrote down that I wanted to kind of let you know about because I don't know if you know about it, but last year Memphis May Fire toured with Atreyu here,
Mm,
and that was Memphis's first show in 10 years in Australia. And
wow.
Atreyu were doing The Curse in full, right? There were just as many people there for Memphis that there
Yeah.
were for Atreyu. And I feel
Yeah.
like these shows are going to be the same for you guys. It's kind of like this sort of like passing the favor on and kind of going, okay, cool. It's been a while since we'd been to Australia. Let's pull someone
Yeah.
else that hadn't
Yeah.
been here for a while. And like, I feel like that's going to be the same with you guys. I feel like you're going to have a lot of people that are going to be there just as much for you guys. But I think you guys might also turn maybe Memphis May Fire fans that haven't really listened to Bless the Fall live before. So I just think it's a really interesting dynamic.
Yeah, and I think it's like both of if you're a fan of either band, and you've never heard of either band, and Bless the Fall fans, if they, let's say they stick around and watch Memphis because they've never really had, they're gonna be like blown away. Like Memphis is an amazing live band. They sound fucking great. They have dope songs. So our fans will enjoy that, and I think their fans will enjoy us. So I think it's just a great marriage in general. It's not like us going on tour with we've been on tour with like As Lay Dying, let's say, and I was like, oh shit, like I don't know if their fans I don't know if they're gonna like really like this. Or Architect, we went out with Architects and it was the same thing. I'm like, yeah, like there's some crossover there, but it was rough. But I think this is like the perfect combination of bands to have. And I think their fans are like good, like good people in general. Like so are ours. I always brag about them. I'm like, man, we have literally the best fans. Like there's no drama online, there's no like shit talking, there's no like weird trolly stuff. Like they're just so cool. And I feel like we're lucky to have that. I think you run into these fan bases who think it's cool to talk shit on different bands and musicians and like cause all kinds of, you know what I mean? And that trickles down, right? It's like if you act that way, then you're gonna get people to respond that way. But I think we've always had just such a great fan base, and everyone's just been so accepting of, we'll bring out like we brought Tonight Alive out on tour a long time ago for all intents and purposes. Like that's not supposed to work, but our fans were like, this is fucking awesome. Like this is great. Like good music is good music. And so they're very accepting, and it's pretty cool.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, listen, we'll wrap things up there because we're about to run over. But I appreciate you taking the time out. I can't wait for you guys to get back out here, and I'm excited for people to kind of get Gallows in the ears and like I said, get Hard Feelings in the ears for the
Yeah.
first time live. It's going to be really really exciting. So I think all the shows are almost sold out too. So yeah, if you don't have a ticket yet, get on it for sure. But appreciate you taking the time out, Beau.
Awesome, man. It's great to talk to you. I'll see you
Cool.
see you at the gig.